Welcome into Two Sports Overtime. I'm Joey DeBerardino. That's Kayler Smith. Welcome back for another week. We're getting closer and closer to football season. It's
here.
Technically here this week if you count preseason football as anything worth talking about.
Well, remember what we said last week? Last week in overtime, it was our very last day without football for the rest of the year.
Now we got it. It's here.
Got it.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And Kayler's already been out to a couple high school practices already so far. We got plenty more, of course, with our annual season previews. Getting out to all the high schools here in the Miami Valley, as many as we can before week one gets underway. Of course, Battle of Kettering, Alter Fairmont, always a great rivalry. That kicks it off on Thursday, And then
I got to talk to Alter today.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, that was the game that they're circling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
First one of the season.
Yeah, it's always a great game. Fairmont's had Alter's number the last couple of years, but, a couple years ago, it was the Knights going to the state championship. They didn't win, but they made it to Canton. So a little something to boast over the Firebirds
it's
there.
It's like an Ohio State-Michigan thing. That's kind of the vibe I got from the players today, where even though they've gone deep in the playoffs, they're still not happy that they've lost the last 3 years to Fairmont.
Exactly.
So these seniors want to win this year.
Oh, yeah. It defines their season. I mean, that's how they view it. And you'll soon learn, too, the Troy-Pickle rivalry carries that same Ohio State-Michigan type of feel. Of course, both teams want to go far in playoffs and blah, 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 but that is the game, like that, like they call it, the games. So we're obviously going to be excited to be bringing you lots of Operation Football preview coverage, and then once we get into the season, breaking down all the ins and outs of how teams are going, in the GWAC, the MVL, the SWABL, the GCL, all the new coaches hires that we have this season. So plenty of excitement for another high school football season coming around the corner. It'll be your first too, Kayler. So we're excited to have you here to experience that for the first time. I remember mine, and it was a blast. So
third state that I've done it in too,
which is wild. Yeah,
Missouri,
second for me, just Michigan and
Missouri,
Ohio.
Texas, and now Ohio. So I'm interested to see how they all compare to one another.
Texas will be tough to beat, but Ohio football, especially in this area,
some of the stadiums have been comparable, like Centerville Stadium, Roush Stadium, some of those Welcome Stadium. So a lot of the stadiums have been comparable. Yeah, no, there's great atmosphere. As you've learned now too, there's so many names, so many great players and great coaches out of this area. Marcus Freeman, even a guy like that. Wayne High School. What?
Kirk Herbstreit. Yeah, Marcus Freeman.
I knew Herbstreit.
Freeman went to Wayne, so coach at Notre Dame, playing his alma mater because he played at Ohio State.
I was telling my dad that I can't believe how many big names have come from this area that you would never even know.
Yeah, it always surprises me every time.
Ohio in general. I learned Dan Patrick is from Ohio.
Yeah. John Gruden, University of Dayton alum.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I actually heard that my first week or two here, but it's been a while. I forgot about that.
He just said a really funny video. He's been doing these unboxings, because he works for Barstool now.
He did one about my mom's alma mater, Pittsburgh State, Kansas,
there you go.
Division II.
Wait till you see the one he just did about the Dayton Flyers. It's great. Definitely worth a watch. Yeah. By the way, go check it out. John Gruden on social media, former Flyer. He did this it's 7 minutes long.
He's done 100 unboxings.
Like Portnoy
what
was
does he
doing during
do with
COVID.
all the stuff?
Oh,
that's what I want to know.
He's got to keep it. That Dayton swag he got was so cool.
Maybe the Dayton swag, but
all the other stuff.
He's gotten Purdue, K-State, North Carolina. He's gotten almost every FBS team and beyond.
His nephew is Joey Gruden, who played at UD too, former Flyer, and who coaches, not this year because no Red Scare this year, the TBT, the Dayton. The tournament. Yeah. Dayton's had a great team in it every year. This year they declined, which was a bummer. That would have been something we would have been plenty of talking about. All
saw
those
that on
former
TV
guys
this week, and I think Wichita State hosted, and they were in the final.
Yep. Yeah, Dayton didn't host this year, and they'd hosted a region every single year. So, yeah, Dayton fans were salty about that, which I don't blame them because how can you not host it at UD Arena?
John Gruden, that's crazy.
Yeah, John Gruden, and his nephew is Joey Gruden, former Flyer, played and coached the TBT Red Scare team. So there's just connections everywhere. Everybody's from this area. It's wild to me. I had no idea too when I moved here too. I was like, wow, this person's from here too. This person's from here. Wow, this person went here. It's cool. It's fascinating.
We'll talk a little bit later in the show about how crazy some small world connections
are.
Oh yeah.
Like our
little tease.
It's like a whole new segment now. Absolutely. So no, we've got plenty. And speaking of UD basketball, we'll just go right into that first segment. So obviously summer workouts really ramping up now for the Flyers. A very interesting season on the horizon for this UD squad. A new look group, guys that have really never played with each other at all. I mean, there's
6 transfers.
6 transfers. Anthony Grant and company hit the portal hard. You only got 3 key starting returners / guys that played. Jayon Simon didn't start really a ton, but Emil Latong and Javon Bennett, the 2 starters that come back. And then Jayon Simon, will definitely see him get some more minutes, but that's it. It is 6 new transfers and then 2 freshmen signees from the class, Damon Fryery and Jaron McKee. So probably won't get to see those guys play a ton.
Especially with the heavy transfer class.
Exactly. But Fryery's 6'10", too. So you never know. That's a big presence. But obviously excited to have those guys. Hopefully they stay in the program a long time because very highly touted recruits. But, going through those 6 transfers, we went through them a couple segments ago kind of. So we kind of won't rehash them. But Jordan Durkat coming from Rutgers, Bryce Hurd, Malcolm Thomas, the freshman who's redshirted at Villanova, Adam Njai, Iona State. We're thinking he's going to be one of their premier starters. Deshae Montgomery coming from Georgia. And then most recently, the signing from just, 5 days ago, Keontae Jones.
Thursday,
Yeah, Keontae Jones. And you knew. There's your connection, Kayler. You knew a little bit about Keontae, so I'll let you take it from here.
Small world, and I didn't even realize it until looking into him a little bit deeper when he did transfer, because he came from Cal State Northridge. I have no ties to.
Right.
We've been able to be together.
But
sorry about that. We'll get to Anthony Grant in a second. Click the wrong thing.
When I was
There's
looking,
some video for you.
He looked familiar. The name sounded familiar, but you just never know. We come across so many athletes. It's hard to know if they're actually familiar or not.
Right.
I'm looking more into his background.
There he is right there. That's
Keontae Jones went to Midland College for 1 year. I worked in Midland, Texas for 3 years, one of which was the year that he was there. And I covered his season when they went on to win the region to get an automatic bid after being unranked to the national tournament. They won the region tournament, got an automatic bid to the JUCO national tournament, and then I followed them to the JUCO national tournament where he helped them to the Elite Eight. So it's wild.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds that we went from West Texas to Dayton, Ohio?
Yeah.
Very slim.
And I mean, might as well keep going. I mean, because we have a lot of time in the show.
Taj Brooks was another
you covered
one,
him at Texas Tech, so he's down with the Bengals.
I covered Taj Brooks all 3 years that I was there when he was at Texas Tech. Lubbock is only 2 hours north of Midland, and because it's so close, Midland has an enormous Texas Tech fan base, and so I covered him for those 3 years that I was there. He was drafted by the Bengals, and now I've gotten to talk to him twice in Cincinnati.
That's awesome.
Which is wild. On Friday, my very first high school football practice that I went to in Ohio was Carroll. They have a new head coach, Mike Pomfret. He's an alum of Carroll, but he spent time in Texas, and actually his most recent job was at Eastern New Mexico, which is a Division II school, which is in the same conference as the D2 school I covered in Odessa, Texas, and right across the border from Texas to New Mexico. So I knew some of his players.
Right.
I covered them in high school, and I asked him, do you know this player? Do you know that? Yeah, I knew them. They were my players.
A small world.
I covered them in high school in West Texas. There's probably more.
There's been more that
we've so many.
Will Howard.
Will Howard.
Technically.
I am a lifelong, I was born a Kansas State fan. Even though I did go to Missouri, I was born a Kansas State fan. And so I was a big-time Will Howard fan. Led us to our first Big 12 title in 10 years. Loved him. And so then when he went to Ohio State, we were just rooting for him. And then he ended up going and winning the national championship. And I think most K-State fans were rooting for him. It wasn't like a bitter situation. It was like we wanted to see him do well.
Well, he took it's like a jump up in a market size in like our business.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, if either one of us go on to, Cincinnati or, wherever, New York, hopefully one day, whatever it is, it's not, there's going to be no ill will because you're moving up the ranks. And of course, he went on to win the national title. Funny enough, we're going to get to Will Howard later after the break. We'll check in on him in Steelers training camp.
There's probably been more connection. Like,
I
tell you about them every. Oh, well, my brother's name is Dayton. That was the biggest one.
That was the biggest one. Just so random too. Just what are the odds?
My sister's name is Mason, and there's a Mason, Ohio. And so when I came here, my mom joked, "Well, now there will be a Kayler in Ohio."
Kayler, exactly. No, it's been
all 3 kids.
It's been cool to see all the connections. And
so crazy and random.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty more. But so. As we kind of go off on the fun tangent there, but it's quickly pivoting back to UD basketball. Obviously, very excited to kind of see these guys, really start meshing. Anthony Grant talked during the press conference, during the presser yesterday about, it's going to be tough for these guys who have come from so many different backgrounds, so many different cultures even, you know. I mean, at these different programs that they're at, you know, there's so many different ways of doing things, especially in college basketball, you know, practices and methods and, you know, teaching and just the way things are different at
drills,
all these
how you run your offense,
exactly.
how you call out plays.
So everything. This is going to be potentially, because we've always seen UD always have at least 3 to 4 core group of guys return at least in an overlapping year, right? You know, we've seen it the last few years, you know, and now this year it seems that it's just a whole new clean slate. So this is going to be a big challenge for Anthony.
And it's interesting because it is an experienced group.
Right,
Very experienced.
And that throws a wrench in there too because those guys bring their experience, which is good too as well. But they'll have to collaborate too with guys that have been there, like Jacob Connor, like Jayon Simon, like Emil Latong, like Javon Bennett, even the young guys that have been the walk-ons, you know, Will Maxwell, who is an Oakwood alum, Anthony Grant's son, Makai Grant, and Evan Dickey, both of them went to Chaminade Julian. I mean, those guys are the hype man on the bench, but they know what the Dayton culture is about. So we're going to be excited to see kind of how the chemistry of this group progresses over the summer and, you know, leading up to, funny enough, we haven't even begun football season, but basketball season's already basically here. So here's Anthony Grant and Javon Bennett. They're talking on Tuesday, just about the season and how summer workouts have been going so far for this new look Flyer squad.
We've been able to be together. I think it's going on our 8th week, and so we're still learning each other. You know, they're learning how they each coexist. They're learning a new system. They're learning the expectations. So I think it's a work in progress. But you know, so far I think the guys have done a really good job of kind of becoming a unit and becoming a team.
Coaches are essentially teachers, and when you see guys that you have taught start to teach others, is that rewarding?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, I think, you know, specific to this group, you know, we've got a few guys that are familiar with what we do, and so just seeing them being able to help the new guys. And I think in today's age of college athletics, you have guys that bring different experiences. So, you know, I think it's an opportunity for guys to maybe learn from someone, even though they haven't been in your system, that they're familiar with what it takes to compete at this level. You know, and then, you know, we're fortunate that, you know, specific, like last week we had some former players come back and be able to share, you know, their experiences with the guys. So I think it's a variety of different ways, just in terms of how guys learn and how guys can pour into each other.
You know, just seeing how everybody's coming together. You know, we've been practicing pretty much every day of the week except weekends, and you know, just seeing how the guys compete every day and each day, and you know, get in the weight room. You know, that really starts the chemistry now for this year. So it's been good.
You know, a lot of people have seen the video of the pickup game.
Yeah.
You ever been involved in a game like that?
No, you don't get to really experience, you know, those type of games where guys, you know, who are playing the NBA or professionally somewhere come back to the college, and you know, you get to compete with those guys. So it was a really special moment just to see, you know, Obi and Duran, and you know, just familiar faces that, you know, we have not played with each other before, but just knowing, you know, their history with the program, you know, and what they've done for the program. So just playing with them was really special.
And then how would it? I mean, it looked like everyone looked like they belonged
for sure.
On the floor, though.
For sure. No, yeah. I mean, well, my team, I'm going to say this. My team went 4-0. It was me, Kobe Brea, Nate Santos, Duran, and Jayon. So it was kind of a run back of the 2023 March Madness run. So we went 4-0. But it was really fun just seeing everybody there in the gym and just having a good time.
You know, ever since you came here, your role just seems to keep evolving, whether it's because of an injury or just what needs to be done, and throw on top of that this year, you know, all eyes are on you as a veteran.
For sure. No, yeah, that's what comes with, you know, playing basketball, college basketball for so long, you know, especially at this prestigious program at Dayton. You know, being here for my 3rd year, I'm the most experienced player, and you know, I'm just trying to show the guys, you know, what it takes to make it to March Madness, and you know, what it takes to impress these fans and you know, win games.
And we should mention a little bit more about Jones, other than my own personal connection with him. He was an all Big West forward out of Cal State Northridge. He averaged 13 points per game there, and he led the team in rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, and minutes per game.
Wow. another great addition for this Flyers team. And obviously, Javon was mentioning a little bit. I don't know if anybody saw that, but guys like Kobe Brea, Deron Holmes II, Obi Toppin, Jalen Crutcher back in town. Obviously, we got Kayler got to talk to Obi at his camp. I got to talk to Deron while he was signing autographs in Kettering, and really cool to see those guys battling it out. That footage was fun. So it's like the dream team. It's awesome. So.
Obi's the one who slipped the news about Keontae's commitment before it hit the press.
He wasn't supposed to do that, but that's okay.
It was only about a day early.
That's all right. What are they going to do? They can't get mad at Obi Toppin. So, but yeah, plenty to talk about, obviously, with Dayton. As we get closer and closer, we're going to probably do some spotlights on those guys and, hear more about their stories and these new Flyers and what's ahead. So, but coming up, we are going to be taking a closer look at some more NFL action. We head up to Cleveland to check in on the Browns. That's all coming up right here after the break on 2 Sports Overtime. Welcome back to 2 Sports Overtime. That's Kayler Smith. I'm Joey DeBerardino. We got into a few things already. Basketball, Dayton Flyers, all of Kayler's fun connections here in Ohio. We kind of talked about a smorgasbord of things here. But
and by the way, a city and a state even that I had never stepped foot in before moving here.
It's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Small world.
Small world. So moving on to, like we mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to get into some NFL action. Preseason is closing in this week for both the Bengals and the Browns. Of course, we do mention Cleveland, even though we are a little bit closer to Cincinnati. They obviously have some exciting things going on there as well this year, but we'll start with the Bengals. Zach Taylor spoke during Tuesday's press conference that the starters are going to get several series worth of workloads, and that means guys like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins are going to get that work.
That's really several series.
Several series. And it's all part of,
not getting off to that
slow start. And that's why they've moved the practices to this morning. We just saw him there, Shamar Stewart. We're going to get our first look at him. We'll see how much action they get. We assume the rookies are going to get a lot. Got to get those guys into NFL action shape. But there are 9 players that are not going to be practicing. Of course, Trey Hendrickson, as the contract dispute continues, will not be attending. Dax Hill, Cam Taylor-Britt, B.J. Hill, Cedric Johnson, Marco Wilson, Matt Lee, and then most notably, tight end Mike Gesicki will not be playing as well. He tweaked his calf during Saturday's camp session, so no Mike Gesicki there, but it might be a good opportunity to see Noah Fant, the Bengals' newest signee as well, coming from Seattle. Great addition to that tight end room, another weapon for Joe Burrow, so excited to see what he does as well. But yeah, all part of getting those guys, those starters, those early reps, because the last couple seasons, last 3 seasons, 0-2, 0-2, 0-3, that doesn't bode well for a team that wants to go win a Super Bowl. So.
No, and that is highly unusual, too, to have your starters out for that long in the preseason, and you hope the other alternative doesn't happen.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
And then everybody's like,
but
hey,
you know what?
What are we doing? We'd rather get off to a slow start than not have Joe Burrow at all type situation.
Hopefully it pays off for him. But,
knock on wood.
Yeah. But we'll let Zach Taylor do the talking for us on why they're doing this and why they believe that this will help them going forward into not only this game against Philly, but week 1 against the Browns.
Some guys will really put their best foot forward when we get out there in the game. Then you get a chance to take a broader look at them as you get back into practice and maybe put them in different positions to feel out more of the picture. And then you come back and you play another game, and you get a chance to put them in situations. So I think the preseason games do matter. When the lights come on, how do guys perform? How do they communicate? Do they get tired? When they got tired, did they get lazy? All those traits we're looking for in our players to be able to push through all that will show up in the preseason games. Game atmosphere. So going on the road like we are week 1, we do have a road primetime game early in the season, so lights are on, you're in a road environment, that's great. Getting everybody off the field, as much as we practice it and do it, it's not the same feel. So I think just those 11 guys being in the huddle on both sides of the ball and all the communications that got to occur. So it's just a good opportunity for those guys to get some additional reps.
I don't know if we've gotten to talk about this, Joey, but something that I learned on Sunday from going to training camp, Taj Brooks is RB2. He is behind Chase Brown.
That's exciting for a rookie draft pick, too. I mean, even with a veteran like Samaje Perine, but you think Brooks is going to bring a little bit more juice, not calling P. Ryan old or anything, but I mean,
from what I gathered, P. Ryan is going to be more like maybe third down, short yardage, maybe pass catching type of role.
And of course, and good for Taj, and it was an unfortunate circumstance what caused that fluctuation with the Bengals having to cut Zach Moss, who was what seemingly a solid veteran piece last year, kind of served as the Samaje now this year. But he just had that neck injury, and it just didn't seem like he was going to be able to be healthy. So unfortunately, Bengals had to cut him. Hopefully he finds success elsewhere, though, but those neck injuries can be really tough. But exciting for Taj, a rookie, to step in. And
6th round pick, too.
Yeah, and get those reps. And everyone talks about kind of the power back he is. We've seen him. We've covered him enough in training camp. So, excited to see all these guys on Thursday coming up against the Eagles. So we'll be looking for it. We'll have
fingers crossed.
Yeah,
that the worst case scenario doesn't happen.
Everyone's good.
That's the risk you take.
It is.
I know Kansas City does 1 series usually for their starters. Maybe if they weren't happy with the 1 series, they'll do 2.
Right.
But nothing more than a quarter.
And maybe that statement from Taylor was a little bit like blanket of like several series, like sparse, like Burrow and Chase are 1 series.
Maybe
T. Higgins 2.
And that will be the case too. I've seen other teams do that where quarterback comes out after 1 series, but some of the other starters
I would be
stay in
surprised if Burrow did anything more than 2 series. I would be really surprised if it was more than 2 series. He did say, though, that the starters were going to get more playing time against the Commanders next week. So we'll just have to wait and see. So
that's a little bit of a slight to Washington.
Well, the team who beat them last year in the jungle. Jaden Daniels came in, and Terry McLaurin.
We're not going to play everybody as long for the Eagles, understandably. But Washington, throw them in there.
They're two regular season losses last year, both at home.
Washington's good.
Washington's good.
They're fun.
Yeah. Not sure if they're going to have former Ohio State Buckeye Terry McLaurin back, though. That's a whole other debacle. Another contract.
We could talk another 5 minutes about that.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of those in the NFL. But, of course, Trey Hendrickson is one of them.
He's doing the same thing as Hendrickson. He's holding in.
Yeah,
they're at camp.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not participating.
Oh, crazy. And it gets crazier, too, up in Cleveland. Big news coming on Tuesday. Shedeur Sanders, the Browns, what was he, the 5th-round pick there?
Yep.
Named the starter for the first preseason game against the Panthers in Carolina.
Nice pause. Named the starter for the preseason game.
I mean, it's just it's crazy to hear about. But you know what? I mean, it's funny because they said he hasn't gotten a single rep with the first team offense yet. He's been essentially the 4th string, but due to the injuries to fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett, and they say Joe Flacco, the veteran, not going to see the preseason at all. They signed Tyler Huntley as well, so the quarterback room is like oozing out of the doors. You have so many in the building, and then
whatever happened to Deshaun Watson?
He's there. He's still there too.
I know.
Don't forget about Deshaun Watson.
6. We're up to 6 now.
Can you have 6 quarterbacks on a roster? I don't think you can.
I don't think you can have more than 3.
No, but good for Shedeur. He's going to be getting that starting nod, so we'll just have to see. I mean, it sounds like he's had some really good numbers in practice during these sessions. 11 on 11s or 7 on 7s, whatever they've been.
How much is that been against though the second, third string defense?
That's the caveat.
As well.
That's what they've been saying is that his experience that he's been doing well hasn't been up against. So, but
it's
we'll
really
see.
Bizarre to me that they're going to have him run with the 1s.
Yeah.
In the at least first quarter probably of the preseason game, and he doesn't have it.
I don't know.
I'm at a loss of words right now.
Maybe they're trying to set him up for failure. Maybe they don't want him to succeed. Well,
unless he's got to be throwing passes to them in drills, obviously, as they rotate through.
Yeah. Whose pick did they say it was? Was it the GMs or the owner wanted him?
Oh, I don't know.
Barry? Was it Barry who wanted him? It was one of them. Someone wasn't happy that they drafted him.
It makes sense why Flacco's not playing.
Right.
He doesn't need a preseason, and also you want to preserve him because you do want him to be your week 1 starter.
Right.
But it is bizarre to me that they're just going to throw him into the fire, Shedeur Sanders.
Do you see any scenario where Shedeur Sanders makes a run for like the true potential week 1 starter?
No, not week 1. Yeah. I could see it later in the season.
Like if something happens to Flacco where he's not delivering, and do they tear down to Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and then there's Shedeur next?
No, I don't think Kenny Pickett stays on the team this year. That's my prediction.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel would have to have like a fantastic rest of camp for them to, I think him over. But I don't know.
Deshaun Watson?
The Browns This is why we cover the good thing we're closer to Cincinnati. Sorry, Browns fans. I know you guys want us to talk about it more. We do. We will be covering the Browns
it's just hard
all
not
season
to laugh
long
when you talk about them.
Well, it's
unfortunate, and
it's
we have
crazy scenario.
We have plenty of Browns fans here in the newsroom too, and they feel the same way. They just laugh about it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Cleveland, hey, they deserve a win or two. They should have just kept Baker Mayfield. I know that's how Browns fans all feel too. But
as a neutral observer, I have zero feelings toward or against the Browns.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Should have kept Baker.
Yeah.
Well, but that kind of wraps it up here for us. But like I said, we'll have plenty to talk about next week when we're back here again to talk about the Browns and of course the Bengals coming off.
Real quick, because we teased it, Will Howard fractured his hand.
That's right.
It's supposed to be out 3 weeks, according to Ian Rappaport.
Yeah.
So disappointing because I was really looking forward to seeing him in the preseason because he was going to be the preseason starter. So
yeah,
unfortunate that it's the 3 weeks that he would be playing.
Bummer news, but it sounds like Aaron Rodgers has given him a glowing recommendation. Says he's really like a sponge, soaking it all up. Pretty good guy to learn from. So MVP in the league. So we're rooting for Will Howard, and of course we'll be touching on Ohio State in the coming weeks too as they get ready for Texas coming up in just a couple weekends. Kayler and I will be over at the shoe, getting ready for. Look at that, horns down. You can do it here.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Couldn't do it before. Can do it now.
Now you can do it. Kayler Smith, Joey DeBerardino, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week right here on 2 Sports Overtime.